Phos is worthless. At least she seems to think so. She has a point at the start of Houseki no Kuni. Even after hundreds of years of life, Sensei and her companions are still searching for something for her to do, much to her displeasure. Not to mention, in terms of hardness, she's literally worth less than the others, and pales in comparison to Bort and Diamond. But it is this worthlessness that sparks our journey through the enchanting world that is Land of the Lustrous. Phosphophylite's name is derived from the chemical composition of the mineral he's named after, as well as the Greek phylon, the word for leaf. Rather than being a description of Phos's glorious green color, the leaf half of his name refers to the fact that the mineral exhibits perfect cleavage. Phosphophylite is valuable to the crystal collecting community because of the way it breaks, and the beauty that results from its brittleness. In that sense, it is the perfect composition for our protagonist, as we watch him grow through his fractures. While she's an avid complainer, Phos is clearly distraught at where she finds herself within her family. At the essence of Houseki no Kuni is the value of belonging. Each gem has a clear defined role within their community, and we can see Phos desperately grasp for a sense of purpose. Well, actually, I flubbed a bit. Not every gem has their part to play. Early on, Phos fixates on finding Cinnabar her own niche within their world, and I think this reflects a lot about how she feels about herself. Because Phos most likely sees herself in Cinnabar, two partners who are lost and drifting. However, while Cinnabar can't help her position, Phos can, she just kinda chooses not to. Faced with someone who's barred from normal interaction through something out of their control, Phos is forced to reflect on herself, lest she squander a chance Cinnabar only wishes she could have. Her very existence and predicament act as a foil to Phos, and serves as her main driver and motivation throughout the series. On the way to finding purpose for Cinnabar, however, Phos hits a few roadblocks, to say the least. And just like how Phos clings on to and fixates on Cinnabar, he does the same to Antarcticite. He adopts his fallen comrade's sword as his own and even adopts her hairstyle. Coming out of winter, the gems that were in hibernation don their spring clothing, symbolic of rebirth and renewal. In stark contrast, Phos remains cloaked in black, serving as a reminder that he remains trapped in the past. Antarcticite's kidnapping suffices as a catalyst for Phos's growth, but the series continually shows that he still has a lot to learn. His newfound power causes a lot of uproar and skyrockets his popularity among the other gems. But in doing so, he inadvertently pushes someone else aside, Diamond. What happens to Diamond is the series continuing to echo its theme. Phos gains purpose and stature but transfers their vagrancy to Diamond, and robs her of her sense of belonging. Being an absolute angel, Diamond accepts this without much contention. However, we can clearly feel her distress during the battle with the giant Lunarian. Her relentlessness and beautifully animated assault comes out of desperation, but ultimately I believe that this is Diamond attempting to assert herself in lieu of her newly found position of uncertainty. Her resistance in the face of crack after wound after fissure is her reaffirming her sense of self, and a reminder of the fact that she does have value. This is a lesson that Phos learns throughout Houseki no Kuni. As he is the youngest, he has the most room to grow, but also the most to learn. There's a saying that stems from an old Buddhist koan: if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. The saying alludes to the fact that the idealized image we have in our heads is rarely true of reality. Seeing as the series absolutely weeps with Buddhist imagery, this saying is especially fitting. We watch Phos transition from the blind adoration of Sensei to forming his own thoughts and confirming his own suspicions. Time after time, Phos breaks and is repaired, changing not only his outward appearance, but also his worldview. We are given the gift of watching someone form their own identity, which is what I believe Land of the Lustrous ultimately comes back to. The show reverberates with themes of finding oneself, and exactly what that means and entails. Phos begins the series lost and directionless, but through their hardships and the support of their friends, begins to realize their value and meaning. At the start, Phos is worthless, indecisive, and uncertain. But without that indecisiveness and uncertainty, we don't get to experience what Houseki is all about. A journey to find out where you fit in the grand scheme of things, and how breaking doesn't make you worthless, but in fact, more beautiful. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content. And of course, if anything I said was wrong, I'm sorry. I must have stuttered.